Okay, hello. This is a tutorial based on the project by Gary. He designed in Barcelona a fish type of a shader roof. Okay, let's start with it. First of all, I'm going to create a set of grids of lines that allows us to reference afterwards while we create the curves, so it makes it easier afterwards. First thing, remember if I press create and nerfs primitives and I set this without checking in here interactive creation, whatever we create such as a curve, it creates whatever unit of the thing that you're asking for. In this case a rectangle 1 by 1 units set in center always. No? If we select it, we can go to the channel box. Remember it's Control A to attribute editors, Control A to channel box. If not, you can press these guys here. Select the guy here and say that you want a length here of 24 and a length here of 30. So that's going to be a base, and what we want to do now is copy this guy like a number of times, like in this case 10 times, and for that we need reference points from this other line, and we need a set of control points. For that we have to rebuild the curve by going to edit curves and say rebuild curve options, and we want to set it to 10 here and say rebuild. That what allows us to, if we right click in the line, say edit point, you see it's quite difficult to see, but you see that's actually a number of points that are subdivided within the number we have saved. You can right click in the line again, say object mode. Now we want to copy this guy in this direction. I'm pressing W. It sets in the middle because it's the center of the rectangle, and we have to move the gizmo here. For that I'm going to press D. Let's remember D to move the gizmo around, and I want to attract it to the curve. In that sense we have to press C as in Charlie. It's kind of tricky to snap it to curves. You first have to put it close to a curve, and then you have to move it along the curve with the same two buttons, D and C in this case. I'm going to Control D to copy, duplicate this line, and right click on this line and say edit points, and I'm gonna, as I move it in this direction pressing this arrow, I want to press V and it will snap to this point. Now remember, if I do Shift D now, it's going to do the same copy and transformation several number of times. So if you cannot do that step, it's basically you did something else between the Control D, which is the duplicate, and the movement. You did something else, and it's just the program doesn't remember if you didn't do it straight forward. I'm going to subdivide this one also, but in this case in 8. So I'm going to go to Edit Curves, Rebuild Options, set it to 8, say Rebuild, and I'm going to move this guy. We have the W here, and I'm going to press D to move the gizmo, and C to move it to the curve. You see snap first to this curve, and now snap into this curve. I'm always pressing D, C, those two cases. Now I can Control D to duplicate this line and right click, Control Vertex. I'm not selecting it in right click, I'm just going right click so I don't deselect this guy. And I press V and I snap it to this guy. Now I did actually Control Vertex, but you should have done edit points. It's quite different. They have another, the Control Vertex has another point here for the curve initial steps here. So now you can do Shift D and it does the same, copy several times. Now what I'd like to do is select all and say edit, say delete by type history so it doesn't remember, and I also like to do modify center pivot, or press D now as well, and X to snap to the grid while I move the gizmo, and I'm snapping to the grid, you see, and I want to put it in the center. Okay, I want to do Control D for the whole grid, so I have a duplication of the grid, and I'm going to say E to rotate the duplicated grid, and we can rotate it 90 degrees in different ways. We can just rotate it like that and see which one is changing, so we can go there and say 90, minus 90 in this case, it will be perfectly set. Or you can go Control C, go back and say J as in James, and rotate in the direction we want. And what it does is rotate 15, 15, 15 until it gets to 90. We're doing the same thing but in a more quicker way. Move it, and I'm going to press X to snap to the grid, and I'm going to move it up until it actually snaps to the bottom grid here. And I'm going to move it back. I'm going to do the other grid that's going to be in this set for the front in a different way. I'm going to set first surface. Press that one. Remember, there's no interaction creation, so it sets a surface of 1, 1. If I press 5, you can see the surface. And now we can just go here to the attributes, to the channel box, and change the width of that box, and we can set it to 24. So it's actually exactly 24. And the number of U is going to be 8 and 8. Okay, E for rotate, J as in James, and rotate in this direction 15, 15, 15 until it gets to 90 degrees. And we're going to press W to move, and press X as in grid up. And you see I'm pressing the arrow, so it has to be vertical, there's no other way, and X at the same time is going to be snapping step by step to the grid. I'll take it down here, and remember we can duplicate the lines of a surface by going to Edit Curves, Duplicate, Curve Surface. Now it's just a matter of managing the information. We created all these lines here that we can say Control G by grouping, double click, and say Working Lines. We can select the surface, delete, and now what we can do is select these two, Control G again, group them, and say Working Lines Total or something. Enter. And now, in order to not mess with them too much, we can select, after selecting them all, select the translation, rotation, scale of these objects, right click, and lock selected. This way we're not going to be able to, oh, it didn't happen actually. Select them all, select them here, right click, lock selected. You see, now it's a gray gizmo, we cannot do anything with it. Okay, next tutorial.